Yeah. Okay. Right. So let's get started. Okay, let me share my screen. So today will be an interesting session because we also have some hands-ons uh, and few things to learn, share. Right. Like as usual, our jam will go on the same way as we do. So right. So the topic for today, which I have picked up, is future proof 2030. Right. So what basically I am focusing here is on the various aspects of give me a moment. My screen is visible to all, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, basically now let's say when you are speaking about what's the future. So um, like let's say I am like for example, my mom is a teacher. Okay, like and whenever I ask my mom, and she once told me something that I will never forget. Right, like when I used to ask her, so she said that the world doesn't change every 10 years anymore, right? But it changes between two PTMs, parent teacher meetings, right? So that much fast the world is now. Okay, not like before. And so isn't that true? So you plan one semester, and by the next there is a new board circular, a new technology, and some 10 new AI tools you haven't heard of yet, right? Have already come. So yeah, so that's what tonight is about, the change, right? Like so, where we the real change, that unstoppable, that beautiful change that's happening around us, right? And now also inside our classrooms too, in the classrooms of the students, it's happening, right? As we speak, it's happening. So this session I have called Future Proof 2030. There's a reason the behind that. The future has arrived, and it's the first part basically of our knowledge jam series, where we will unpack a lot of uh, whatever like the related to more futuristic point of view. We will uncover a lot of things, and the purpose is going to look like for it's more sort of how the future will look, right? Like and how we need to prepare them for the future that's coming, right? So now, this is, as I said before, also, it's this not a regular webinar, right? So there is no like lot of slides, lecture, and it won't be like very boring as general webinars, and it's a jam, right? So that means we will talk, right? We will question, we will share some humor, we will laugh, and also you will get to share your views too, right? And obviously, whatever we speak here or whatever we will be sharing here. Even others will also get to see it as this recording will be shared internally to our network, right? So now this is so I will be asking you some questions also, sharing some stories, and maybe also even showing you some little AI magic later on. So that is also planned today. So there are a lot of AI tools in the market, and there is a lot of flexibility nowadays with AI, which you should use, I will say, because now since everyone is behind AI, improving AI, they are providing a lot of good incentives, free tools, free trials. So what I will say is educators should utilize those to improve the way they provide the guidance, they provide the classes or whatever, right? So this jam series will have that also in mind. So every jam session in this series, we will be exploring one new AI tool. And this jam, we are going to explore something called Canva Magic, right? And how to utilize it freely, right? So that we will learn, and also we will see in real how we can use it in a way with a very small example. Okay, I hope I'm audible to all, crystal clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so before I get started, let me give you something very simple and fun. Okay, so let me throw a question to you. Think of this as a warm up for your imagination, right? So let's say if time travel was possible, okay, where would you go? So simple. Now if time travel was possible, would you go to the future, see what 2030 looks like, Will you go to the past? So basically, fix my 10th grade report card or stay here. I'm busy surviving 2025. Yeah, okay. So that third one is more sort of most, though it looks like most less chosen poll, but it's actually the most high chosen. Okay, but let's see. So if time travel was possible, would you go to? So let's just put it in the chat. ABC. Let me see. I can see C. Nyaneshwari said C. Okay. I see a few adventurous souls heading to 2030 already, uh, and a few honest ones also who want to fix their marks. Uh, don't worry, I have been there too. So surviving 2025 is obviously it's enough. So okay, great. So we have a mix answers here. Okay. So see now, but that's the point, right? Like whether we like it or not, 2030 is already walking towards us. Time will surely move ahead. Though we stay here or we just would like to, would you go to the past, right? Like to fix it, whatever. But the future will come, right? Whether you're fixing the past or stay in the present, but future will come. Now, when the future comes, now it's already walking towards us, right? The question is, are our classrooms, are our guidance, or are our counseling systems walking fast enough towards it? That's the question, right? Which we need to ask. So let's start with that thought. Now, if the school was invented today, so into in the 2030 world, would they still? I mean, like, what do you think? Will they still look the same as they do now? No, right? So the so let's play with that idea for a second. Imagine. So let's say I wake up tomorrow morning, or we wake up tomorrow morning, and the world has totally forgotten. Okay, so what schools used to look like? No textbooks, no timetables, no good morning ma'am routine, nothing. Now, and it's our job, you, me, everyone here, to design education from scratch. Okay, so is it scary, right? It's little scary, right? Like if I say to design education from scratch, how many of you can like will get an idea to do that? Anyone? Won't it be a Herculean task to do that, to design education from scratch? Anyone? Right? So now tell me, if you were designing schools today in a world where AI writes the essay, students build app in just maybe eighth or seventh grade, and also the social media is what they use more to learn, right? Like more than classrooms. So would the schools look the same as they do now? So here I ask the next question to all of you. If you could redesign school from scratch, what would you remove first? Homework overload, exams, fixing the timetables, or the boring assemblies? Which one? Just put it in the chat. Homework overload, okay. Oh, exams, Dhaneshwari, okay. Okay. So that's really interesting. I got an exam option also, someone saying. So fixed timetables, okay, nice. So see, now look at that. Exams are under attack, right? So, and some of you are saying, please remove homework forever. So, I see you, right? Like, this is all coming because even the students watching somewhere must be cheering right now, right? Homeworks, exams, isn't it? So, you know this question, right? Like, so if we build schools today, would they look the same? Is one of my favorites because it forces us to stop and imagine education without inertia. When I say inertia, we don't often get that chance, right? Like, so to we are just keeping on upgrading the old mode. Where is that new version of our system coming? Nowhere, right? Because the same foundation we are using, the foundation is still same. So how much ever you build over it, nothing changes, right? So let me tell you a quick story on this. So back in 1958, when NASA, okay, so it's a story little bit sometime back. When NASA was starting its space program, they wanted some astronauts, okay, so they wanted some people to go to space. But there was a small problem. There was no such thing as an astronaut in 1958, right? So that was a major problem they were facing, right? So you know what they did, right? Like, so they picked up a few pilots, right? Like the aircraft pilots, and said, we will teach them space later. Uh, and So, but isn't that wild? Because, and that exactly where we are today now. Our kids are heading into some jobs and industries that don't even exist now. And it's our job to teach them space, while space itself is being invented. So that's the major hurdle which is coming in our way. So here's a fun thought, and I want you to drop your answers in the chat also. So, what jobs could your students have in 2030 that doesn't exist today? Just don't overthink. Just put it in the chat. Whatever pops in your head. What do you think? In next 15 years, what are kind of jobs will come? Just put it in the chat. Even I will give you some starting. Okay, for that. What do you think? See, now the thing is, when I speak about the jobs that will come in 2030, a like I can call out few. Okay, so for example, some names which you would have not heard maybe, okay, till now, like AI ethics auditor, right? Wow, love that, because that's something really which we will need. Space tour guide, right? Like, just please take me along, right? Like, someone who will give you a tour in space, because space is improving. I mean, like, space tour is improving, and with 10-15 years down the line, obviously there will be a guide requirement there, and it will be like a very high paying job, right? Like, it's, directly you're going in space, and might be very easy to get in also, not too much technical, right? So, and climate restoration engineer, climate is a very big problem nowadays, right? Now climate restoration engineer is a very powerful thing, right? See, now all this you already think more futuristic than. So see, whenever you're thinking, you have to think more futuristic than our most job portals, right? Now these things you might not find in our job portal because they don't exist yet. But what is coming is totally imaginative, and to get that, you need to be aware of what is happening, the market dynamics, how it is improving. For example, when I said space tour guide. Now, why I say that space tour guide will be some job which will be created in 2030? Because there is some job that will fuel that, and that job is space tour itself. Nowadays, space tour is improving. Many organizations or companies are investing in that. You would have heard this Virgin Atlantic, even Jeff Bezos' company, Amazon founders company Blue Origin. They are trying. So many organizations are trying space travel, right? They are going just outer space and coming back. So they are carrying the tourists there. Now that will fuel the space tour guide, right? So this way you need to think what job is currently going on. and what job that job will create in future. So this way, you have to imagine how the futuristic jobs will look like. Are you getting what I'm trying to say, everyone?
Yes.
Right. So here is the point. So if our imagination is already this advanced, right? Don't you think our classrooms should also catch up with these things? Because the real question isn't like what do we teach them anymore, right? Like our real question is it's how do we prepare kids for the things we can't even name yet, right? So that's the main problem which uh, we will face, right? So and that's where our next slide will take you to. Okay, so what I like to call it is the invisible revolution. So four huge forces, right? Like main four huge forces that are quietly changing every job is every classroom and every child's journey, right? So that is our invisible revolution. That four hidden forces, right? Who is changing these jobs, the classrooms, and every child's journey also. So let's explore that together. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So the invisible revolution, changing work, right? Now what is it? So there is a silent revolution happening right now. But the funny part is most people don't even see it. Okay, so they don't know that it's happening, right? Now, it's not some revolution of machines or gadgets. It's a revolution of skills. Okay. Now, I call it the invisible revolution. So where is it happening? It's happening in our classrooms, our offices, our homes. Quietly, every single day, it's happening. Okay, and it's changing not just what we do, but who we are becoming as humans also. Okay, so that is what it's changing. So now, if I speak about that four big forces, right, that who is shaping this invisible revolution, and every student whom we see now will be growing up inside these four. Okay, so what are they? So number one goes to AI and automation, right? Machines taking over that predictable routine stuff, right? So that AI and automation will be that driving force for the next 15 years. Climate and sustainability. It's not just science anymore, right? Like it's a moral subject now. So initially, when these topics used to start, it was all about okay exploring science and but now it is no more not just science anymore, right? It's a moral subject now. Now, and number three, creativity and meaning, right? So, uh, people are searching for work that feels human again. That's very important, right? Like we are not liking that robotic sort of work culture. So, creativity and meaning is being nurtured now in the jobs, right? And human plus machine fusion. That's the number four, where the technology will not just replace us, it amplifies us, right? So it will not it will sorry not just replace us, it will not replace us, but it will amplify us, right? Like it will amplify what we do, right? So now there is a survey, right, by EY India. EY is a very big firm, Ernst and Young we call it, they are in the big four, right? So 38 million Indian jobs will be transformed by 2030. Are you getting the number? 38 million, 3.8 crores. It's a very big transformation because this 38 million jobs, when they get transformed, many jobs in that hierarchy will also get changed. Okay, and so the real number might be more higher. We can't say that, right? Now, uh, so that's a huge number and a huge potential we have to guide the students that time. Now, think about it. When these 38 million Indian jobs will get transformed in 2030, and if you are able to predict it properly now, and you are guiding a child or a student now with that sort of mentality, you can make miracles in his life, right? You can change his life like anything because when he lands in 2030 or in that range, 2025 to 2030, he will already have some skill which is in so much high demand, and he will be maybe out of that competition itself. because many might be running in that old rat race, but he will be slowly building a skill which is in that high demand. And for this, you can be a very important driving factor. Getting all of you? I hope, right? So 44% of skills will change by 2030. This is World Economic Forum speaking, guys, right? So 44% of skills will change by 2030. So these are, see, these are not just numbers, just it's real research backed numbers, right? And this will create a ripple, and this should be actually affecting how we are providing the guidance or counseling or teaching, right? It is very, very critical, right? So now, before I move on, right? So now, out of these four, I'm curious which one will excite you, right? Out of these four, which one will excite you the more? So don't overthink, just go with your gut, right? So, which of these four revolutions excites you the most? Okay, just put it in the chat. Want to just see? So we have AI and automation. ABCD you can put, okay? AI and automation, climate and sustainability is there, creativity and meaning is there, and human plus machine fusion is there. Okay, great. So here actually we have little bit of common things also, like most like more modes I can see in creativity and meaning, yes, because this we are also seeing, okay, in the overall industry, because what's happening is this current Gen Z's, or even now the Gen Z's are there now. Think about the people who will be in the 2030, the students, right? So they will be far more ahead, and they will really need that creativity and meaning in what they do, not just the current generation looks for money, financial stability, and all those, but that would have been already solved by their parents. So what they will look for is something more important than that, right? So that will be a generation, a totally different generation, where creativity and meaning will play a vital role, right? So yeah, nice. So I see a lot of love for creativity and meaning, and that's such an educator thinking, right? So isn't it? So because we are wired always to find the purpose in everything we teach, and that is very important, because when we teach the students also, the purpose behind what we teach is very important, right? And also we have to convey the purpose of teaching to them also, like why you are learning that. So it's a two-way thing, right? So, and some of you went for AI. So obviously it's a brave choice. Don't worry, AI won't replace you unless it learns um, how to do the last minute parents teachers meetings or something, even career counseling and all, right? So obviously till that there is no worries for us. So, but jokes apart, so this is real, okay? The numbers which is said by the EY and World Economic Forum. So we have to be really I mean, like careful, right? And also we have to get ready for what's coming on our way, right? So now, see, last month I met a principal in Kochi, and she said that we started using ChatGPT to help write the report card comments. So I asked her, right, really? So doesn't that feel little robotic, or doesn't that feel less humanly, or that that human touch aren't we losing, right? So she said, what that is doing is it's helping her personalize each one, right? Like that customized personalization easily she is able to do, and also she finally has time to write something warm about every student. So what AI is doing for them is it's giving you a high level overview of the report, but at the end she is adding her own comments. So that's what I call AI with heart, right? So that is where the real AI revolution will happen, where that human and AI will work together like a resonance will happen, right? That speed and productivity will improve, and that is where we are going into. We cannot show blind eyes to AI and say, "Oh, AI, I'm not interested in AI," or AI is not something that I'm looking into, because obviously that's the world we are coming into, right? Like we cannot say mobile is coming, still I will use telephone, right? So it's the thing, right? The change is coming. You have to embrace it. There's no other way. But how well you will embrace it so that it doesn't totally kill your creativity or totally kill your job, but how you can get more productive using AI. So that should be our focus, right? So how fast we can maybe improve our work or quality of work, right? So all these areas we need to explore. So see, this invisible revolution, it's not about just some machines taking over, right? It's about humans evolving with machines, right? We have to evolve with the machines. So we are learning to hand over all the repetitive things, whatever is there, right? So we can focus on the important things, like what makes us, like the empathy, imagination, insight, those things. So again, I repeat, empathy, imagination, insight. These three things mainly, if I say, AI cannot, at least for now, okay, it can maybe sugarcoat you with a lot of good words and all, how ChatGPT does it. I have seen that whenever we ask something to ChatGPT also, it will never say that you are wrong. Okay, it will always try to show that you are right and give you some extended answers for that. Right. So, but yes, but that real insights or that empathy, imagination, these things AI cannot bring in. Okay, it's very difficult for it to know. So that is where we step in, right? As real human counselors or teachers or principals, and this is where our main focus should be, not on the usual stuff, right? So usual stuff, let's just hand it over to AI, let it do it, and we will focus on these things. And that shift, this shift is what will actually redefine 2030, redefine the success in 2030, right? So in our next slide, we will talk about this, like what success really means now, because it's not about works marks anymore, right? Like it's about meaning, right? So we will see like how the so now we will move on to the next slide. So what is that new definition of success, right? That is very, very important because this is what will define the way we provide the guidance or the teaching to the students, right? This will define that. Because we have to be clear in this. Because what we feel the success was in our generation will be totally different for them. The old rule of study hard and score high will no more be applicable, right? The new rules will come. Learn fast, think deep, adapt fast, right? So those will be the rules which they will come often, right? So see, now whenever I speak about or I think about this invisible revolution which I am speaking about, one question always hits me right in the heart. Okay, like always it comes to my mind. So are we preparing our students for the world that's coming, or are we preparing for the world that's already gone? And this is a very powerful question, right? See, for decades, our scoreboard has been very simple, marks, right? I don't know, because just with marks you cannot judge anyone, right? So there has to be good amount of analysis, not only subjectual, right? Like many other things should be there, and everything revolved around one idea: study hard, score high, right? So just study hard, and get high scores. See, now this worked for the industrial era, right? Now, but we are totally out of it. By 2030, it's a totally different ball game that time, right? So today's success isn't about how much you remember. It's about how fast you relearn. It's about how deeply you think or how quickly you adapt. This is very, very important because with the AI, no more memorizations are needed, right? Like people who memorize, I don't know, like how much is that useful to them to an extent, right? So today, the success definition itself is totally different, right? So here is a real shift, right? The old rule of study hard and scoring high to new rule, right? Learning fast to thinking deep and adapting, right? So now I want to ask you something from my thoughts. If marks just disappeared tomorrow, okay, poof. gone. How would you measure a student's success? So if marks disappear tomorrow, how would you measure the student's success? So this is my question. So let's say through curiosity and effort, or you will see like how collaborative or the collaboration, or you will check for creativity and ideas he has, or the real world impact. Which one? Just put it in the chat. Let's see. You can just put ABCD, okay? I'm purposefully not making anyone speak here because the Diwali night, everyone is tired. So I'm just making it in little interactive using some interesting questions. Okay, so you can just put it in the chat. So that will be more than enough for me. Nice. This time we are seeing more options in the real world impact. Okay, and exactly if you see this curiosity option A and the last option, real world impact, right? These have very real potential, right? Um, now you can see that real learning, even when there is no number attached, right? Or that is where that real knowledge growth will happen, not for marks and all, right? So so there's a small story, okay, which I want to share with all of you related to this. So it was I met one 13-year old. I think 13-year or maybe 14. I don't remember. When I went to a place called it was some time back. When I went to a place called uh, Udaipur. Okay, it was some time back, and there I met this girl. She was from Finland actually. She was a foreigner, so she built an app. Okay. So what she did was she built an app at that age. Okay. So 13 or 14. So she might be somewhere around 8th standard, maybe in Indian timeline or ninth. So she made an app. Can you guess what app it could be at that age she will make? Let's first of all, she made an app which was, and also it was some years back, no, not even now, it was some maybe 2, 3 years back, which I met her. Um, but at that age, what app she would have made, you think? Any guess? Anyone? If at that age you make something, let's say like a app, what you will make? Because I was actually shocked. Okay, exactly what Amarjit is saying is what anyone will expect. Okay, anyone gaming or maybe some study stuff, right? But I was actually shocked and really happy to hear what she was making or she made, right? It was an app. Yeah, Vikrant is typing. Let's see. I want some creative answers for this. Okay, cover. Go back some years, become some child. Okay, think what you will create at the age of 13 if you know how to build an app. Great. So I think Vikrant is typing some big answer, right? Let's see. What about others? Arun, Prajwal, Yanishwari. Okay, great. I can see Yanishwari also in the fast fingers now. Come on, fast, fast. Yeah, maybe they are typing. Many okay apps that solve real life problems. Okay, such as good cartoon or series. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, that's really good imagination. Even I didn't think about that. But yes, that's nice. So she built an app to reduce, and it's little close to Vikrant's imagination. Okay, what she did, it is like she built an app to reduce the food wastage in her school canteen. Can you imagine? See, now uh, I asked her, like, out of curiosity, was this a school project or what? Like, because did anyone guide her or did anyone push her? See, she directly said, no, sir. Right? So Just it was coming out of my mind. I hated seeing food wasted every day. So see, no exam, right? No marks, just curiosity and courage. And really, I got some goosebumps that time. Okay, because when I was speaking to her, this was not the way I was speaking, and the way she answered and all, really commendable. And I was thinking that's the kind of learning 2030 needs, right? Not driven by pressure, not, but purely by purpose, right? And that will be, right? We are changing. The post freedom period is getting over now, right? Like we are getting into a phase where startups are booming. There are full of opportunities everywhere. People are just so tremendously hardworking, efficient. A lot of opportunities to grab now. And in this era, if we still get stuck in that old way of exams and marks, we will be doing a very big disaster to the upcoming generation who will come to us believing that we know what's coming, right? So this is where, as the real counselors or teachers, we need to step in, right? Or educators, we have to guide them. We have to be that guiding light who will not push them into that darkness which is coming in the 2030, because if they follow and they still remain in the past, right? So that's the kind of learning 2030 needs, right? That purpose, right? It's not pressure, it's purpose. So in fact, there was a LinkedIn study recently said. So what was that study about was that LinkedIn report said that 70% of the job skills will change by 2030. See, now so many big organizations are saying that change, everything is going to change. And how still can we be ignorant of this fact that things are changing, right? So instead of teaching just subjects, right? Like what if we focused on some building some superpowers, right? For example, I call them three superpowers, okay, of the 2030, right? So that is where our next topic comes in. Uh, Now, when I speak about the superpowers, so instead of teaching just subjects, I call them three superpowers. Like first is that learning agility, right? So being able to learn faster than AI, right? So that is very important. And emotional range is the second, where empathy, resilience, and that human things will stay with us. That's the emotional part of it. And third is the creative courage. So learning agility we need to give them, emotional capacity and range we need to improve, creative courage we need to give them, that not just thinking of ideas but daring also to act on it, right? Not just thinking about some exams and all and planning something, but more about what they're really interested or bring the change in, think about that and taking that courage to do that, right? So so um so let's say if I choose one of that superpowers for your students, which one would you pick? So will you pick, um, let's say, will you pick learning agility, or will you pick emotional range, or will you pick creative courage? Which one? Just put it in the chat. Emotional range, learning agility, creative courage. And I already expect that many of you might put this emotional courage, right? There is a reason behind it. Or sorry, emotional range. Now, see, that's the human layer which AI will never replace, right? And obviously most of you would be already easily might be predicting that it will happen, and obviously the creative courage, right? And learning agility, obviously, right? So all three are important. Now this creative courage especially, that's what helps actually the ideas to jump from the notebook to the world. And what I feel is, in this startup world where the innovations are so fast happening so fast, this creative courage should be really, really developed. And in that, parents, teachers, counselors can also play a very vital role. Okay. So this is what excites me, because It's not. It doesn't mean that future is anti-human, right? It's actually pro-human. But when it will become pro-human? Only if we prepare our students to be human in a world of machines. That is very critical, right? So they have to be a human in the world of machines. How can they be a human? That's where these three superpowers come in, right? So when we say future proof, doesn't mean teaching coding or robotics. It means teaching them reflection, empathy, adaptability, right? So because that's what will make them irreplaceable, right? So that is where our next topic comes into picture. See, and when I speak of irreplaceable, uh, see, everyone keeps saying AI will kill jobs, right? AI will kill jobs, AI will kill jobs. But actually, it's not killing jobs, it's dividing them. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? It's dividing them. So, that we will try to unpack in the next topic that we have here, which is basically on the uh, so machine work versus human work, obviously, which we saw now already. So AI will take over the routine, repetitive, rule-based task, and humans will excel in empathy, strategy, and creativity. So the now next career frontiers, right? So jobs aren't dying; they are getting divided. So exactly, AI isn't killing jobs. Okay, it's dividing them. So all the routine, repetitive, rule-based, predictable, all the stuffs, right? And that AI or the machines will take up, and humans we get to focus on empathy, imagination, strategy. So, in other words, what machines are doing is they're handling the repetitive task. We handle the relationships, as simple as such. So, repetitive task is handled by AI or whatever the machines technologies are going to come, and relationships are handled by us. So that's what it is doing. It will never kill our job, right? So, so it's like AI does the paperwork and you do the hard work. So beautiful, right? Like that line. AI will do the paperwork and we do the hard work. What do you think? How this line is? You can actually use this in your real life, right? And whenever someone says, "Oh, AI will kill my job," just say them, AI cannot kill your hard work, right? That only you have. AI doesn't have, right? So, um, right. So that's the thing. So, but tell me honestly, in your day-to-day work, right, as counselors or educators, what's that one task you will love to hand over to AI? Okay, if you could, what is the one task that you will love to hand over to AI? Just put A, B, C, D. So paperwork and admin tasks, scheduling and remindings, or drafting circulars and reports, or none. AI can't handle my chaos. So what's your take on this? I actually love that last option, okay, because I was a person who used to think that. But Uh, uh, but the way AI actually improved my productivity and how it improved the scale in which I'm able to grow myself or provide that impact to the society, it's actually commendable. Okay, so obviously I was a person who used to think like AI can handle right like my chaos, but that's but no, it has proven me wrong in many places. Yeah. So let's see what's the so is it all? Okay. So right, that's that's really good. So but yeah, that's exactly where AI should step in, right? Like so, it is not replacing you, but it is releasing you. These are all usual stuff which you can easily hand over to AI, right? Okay. So right. So that's where right, like because right now studies say teachers spend almost 30% of their time on admin work. But do you think they have to spend this much time on admin work? And imagine if you got that 30% back. So it's more sort of, let's say, you're working 8 hours or 5 hours of a day, okay, say taking the classes. Now, out of that 30%, you lose time. So it's almost you're losing, let's say, more than one and a half hour of your day, right? Which you could have connected with your students. You could have used it more. that extra 30%, right, would have improved your life also 30% year on year, right? So that's one full day a week actually, free for you to mentor, innovate, or even just breathe, right? Like we also need rest, we also need time with our family, right? So think, so AI can help you there, right? So honestly, the problem isn't AI, right? It's all about, the problem is we have been too much mechanical, right? Or we have been doing so much machine work that um, we actually think those works are our work. That's the reality. What do you think? Are you getting the point what I'm trying to say? So we have been doing this work from so much time that uh, by or inherently our brain is getting it's thinking, okay, these are the works I need to do, or this is what I am built for. Isn't it a very powerful statement, right? We have created that mechanical habit in ourselves, and now if we think out of it, right, if we think out of that mechanical habits or out of that usual stuff, you will come to know that there are a lot of other things which are humanly, which we are not doing nowadays. Even I feel nowadays there won't be a single person, maybe in the last 1 week, they would have opened a book to read. How many of you read a book last week? Anyone? Not through online, okay? Not through YouTube or something. Pure hard book. Anyone here who read last week? Yes, I can see one. Arun here. Really good. Because why I exactly called out Amarjit is here, because the books have a specific capability compared to YouTube videos, right? Books actually give you that imagination. For example, let's say I'm reading about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and I'm seeing a serial of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Obviously, the video might give me goosebumps when I see Shivaji Maharaj fighting, because that's all the director's way of conveying that video to me, making it more interesting. But when I read a book of Shivaji Maharaj face might be my father's face or might be my face. And that way I imagine. No one else, it's not someone else's imagination, right? It's my imagination. My imagination improves. So that's where the books play a vital role, right? So see, these things and all that imagination which we used to do, we're slowly killing through digital devices or digital mediums, right? So that's why we have already forgotten. Now, as we already see, Vikrant, right? Like summarize the book using AI, then study the important points nowadays. Yes, obviously, that's also okay for me. I feel okay because time is nowadays not there for everyone to read a full book, sit and read. Maybe that patience also something humanly, right? Patience we are losing with time because we are becoming more mechanical, right? So all these things, right? All these things is what is creating this issue, and it will become a very big issue in the 2030 when the AI will take over all the mechanical jobs and you will be left with human jobs. And frankly, humans are not able to do that, though it's our job. That's a very hard fact which will hit our doors in some years. Okay. And we will still might cross it, right? But we are putting our young minds into that darkness, which we have to be really careful about what we guide them. Okay. So here I will like to share one small story again. So I was speaking to one teacher here in Pune itself. Her name was Anagha. So she told me something very beautiful after one of our workshops, like similar to this webinar. I was conducting one small workshop for them, and I used AI to translate my English lessons, right? So she said, like I mean, like she used to translate her English lessons into Marathi and Kannada, okay, in just 10 seconds. And guess what happened? Students who were usually quiet, right, suddenly started participating because they could understand her lessons in their own vernacular language. So that's the power of AI, right? Like people are worried about AI, but what I feel is AI is actually helping in a lot of fronts. So she said like it felt like I am giving them a voice, right? She said. So it's more sort of like she was giving the those students who were totally silent. Suddenly they are getting a voice. That's the magic of AI, right? Not replacement, empowerment, right? So that is what will actually create the future. And we have to understand this. So here is a new mantra which will be for the 2030 classroom or 2030 classroom. So the future will belong to those who use AI. How? As a partner, not as a competitor, right? So the future will belong to those people who will make AI their partner, okay, not a competitor, which is a very powerful statement, okay, and we have to understand this to our core. Even it actually um, can be correlated with us also, okay. So if we treat AI like an assistant, like that over enthusiastic student, okay, who finishes all the tasks in 2 seconds, we can finally focus on what no machine can replicate, right? Like the warmth, the curiosity, intuition. So let AI do that, right? Like AI is always curious to help you. Nice sugar coated answers and giving you all your work that you do just 24/7 is available. So good, no? Like then we get chance for better things like imagination, curiosity, intuition. We can give that warmth to our students. So that's our edge, right? Our human advantage. Let's use AI, right, as a 24/7 worker, right, who is there for us, the assistant. And let's become more productive or in our human angle. So from here, let's take the energy forward. So if I say jobs are dividing, new ones are also emerging, right? So obviously, when the jobs are dividing, basically new jobs are getting created, and many of those new careers actually will feel like science fiction today. Similar to like before 20 years, if I speak about IT services or maybe 30 years back, it might be something which people would be thinking, oh, why should I outsource my services to someone, right? It's such a small task. But now India's 60% uh, revenue is coming from IT services. So see, that's the that's a change which IT service brought uh, to our plate. But if you see now, obviously, when I say jobs are dividing, new ones will come, and now it will feel like, oh, this is something that never will happen. Just totally imaginative. So let's take a peek at that seven or most that next career frontiers, which students might actually work in. And I can bet you would have never heard about of at least maybe three of them. Okay, so obviously, if I speak about climate risk strategy and green AI, right, is something which will become really very popular. And now, so just take it this way: you have divided the work between humans and machines. Okay, so let's time travel a bit again to that 2030 or maybe even 2035. Okay, let's go a little beyond. So your students, the same ones who forgot their homework or draw doodles on the back of their notebooks, right? They are going to be working in jobs that will sound like science fiction to us. So I'm not talking about engineer, doctor, or MBA. Okay, I'm talking about brand new frontiers, careers that don't even exist even 5 years ago, or it didn't exist even 5 years ago. So let me show you seven of them that are already taking shape. And as we go through this, just imagine which one could connect to your subject, your students, or your classroom. Okay, so here we go. So number one will be something called, just a moment. So if I say neuroaesthetics and design science, okay, now this is something very, I mean, like uh, the name itself looks very not that common. So where this art will meet the brain science, right? Like science study how students study how beauty affects emotions. So imagine your art students doing research on why design calms the mind, right? Something like that. So similarly, climate risk strategy and green AI. So jobs that help companies calculate carbon footprint, carbon impact using AI models. And India alone could create 10 million green jobs by 2030. Now, this is a Niti Aayog report. Indian, purely Indian. Okay, 10 million green jobs by 2030. Even Reliance, such big companies are investing in green, right? Green resources or green energy. So, and green AI will be like a peak at that time, right? And synthetic biology and biotech engineering. So, this is where biology meets coding. So now, till now, we would have heard biology or biology students, why should they learn to code? Now, this will be something eye opener. So students designing some bacteria that clean oceans or grow food faster, right? So they are designing it. But here, how it happens is they even need to know a little bit of coding, right? Similarly, ethical AI and responsible tech, right? So AI is booming. So, but so are ethical dilemmas, right? Like behind it. So imagine a tech ethics auditor, for example. So your philosophy student meets data scientist, right? So see, this is how the careers will evolve with time, right? Now, XR learning and virtual education. XR generally stands for extended reality, we could say it. And obviously, you would have heard this Facebook and all invested a lot of money in metaverse, right? So, yeah, so where this classrooms meet metaverse. So soon students might visit the Indus Valley civilization, right? Instead of reading about it. So that sort of real immersive experiences they will get. Then digital legacy creation. So hiring experts to manage their digital identities and all, no? And memories. Once they are, I mean, like once you are gone, right? You can store your memories, and some jobs like that will come, right? So your AI, maybe counterpart, will store whatever you have. So similarly, similarly is purpose architecture, design meaning. So all this. So to be honest, let me ask this question: if you could instantly master one of these future fields, okay, just like that, which one would you pick? Let's say, let me give you some options for that quickly. Ethical AI, climate science, XR learning, and purpose architecture. So, purpose architecture is more about understanding, it's about designing meaning in work and life. Okay, so it's more sort of helping people align their passion with purpose. So, imagine you are a school counselor becoming a certified purpose architect. Okay, so basically you will help them to align their passion with purpose, right? So okay, so ABCD, let's see quickly. Sorry, we are going little on outboard of our time, but I'll quickly try to. A B, nice. Right, so climate science actually I like a lot, right? Like that's a things which actually can create a real impact directly. And really honestly I love that a lot. And that's a real future proof mindset, right? Like not chasing degrees, but we are discovering the possibilities, right? Like of all these jobs. And that's why the next part is very important, because for India to lead in the next world or the new world, we have to bridge a massive gap, and we can play a very vital role in that, okay, to build our country or the next revolution. The skill crisis and opportunity. So when I speak about India skill gap 2030, see, the main skill gap will come. So you can see 63% of the Indian workers reskilling, 18% schools teach AI literacy, CBSE 2024 only. I mean, like, see, only 18% of schools are teaching AI literacy, right? Now, average student will switch 10 careers in a lifetime. So think what sort of change the school must move from, right? Career choice to career discovery, it has to be. Choice is one thing. Now they have to move on to the discovery, right? So now, the question is, the beautiful part of it is, if let's say, imagine if every 13 years student, okay, in India got to explore their skills or strength and curiosity before the pressure of 10th board hits them, their confidence will be totally different, okay, and our classrooms look. That's what I mean. Like many organizations, like we also like at we do, are building for, right, to make career clarity and mentoring not a one-time counseling session, but a continuous journey, right? If you do give a counseling session, you leave it, it's just hanging in air and there is no use behind it, right? Like you have to continuously mentor them. That is where the real counseling journey begins at, and that's the whole concept of our Edvdo also, right? Because the future doesn't belong to the kids. Who have everything figured out. It belongs to the one who keep discovering, right? So they keep discovering. And speaking of discovery, let's discover something. I mean, like hands on together now. So we'll take a quick look at some AI tool, okay, which you can use in your day-to-day activities. So it's called Canva Magic, right? Let me quickly log into Canva. So there is something which I want to show you first before I log in. See, Canva provides a free. I'm not promoting Canva at all. Just one AI tool. Okay, I'm just showing, and there are many AI tools available online. And Canva is one of the leading for creating the designs and all. It's a good tool. Okay, so let me quickly open. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes.
Okay, so um, now let's quickly see what happens with the Canva is when if you type Canva educator free, so here you get a link Canva education 100% free for K-12 teachers and students. Even even counselors also can apply on this, okay, as a teacher or as a school as a teacher, okay. If you click on get verified, and I think I'm already logged in, I guess. Let me log out of it. So just Canva education, and it's totally free for educators, okay. Even if you have some someone students or some teachers, you can actually easily just register here. Some small steps it will ask, and uploading also, you can upload actually any of your ID cards, it will approve it, okay. So this way you will get the free Canva license, okay. Now how you can utilize it is, I'm just logging into Canva. So let's say I want to create something using AI. Like for example, I want to create a document. So just I click on this Canva AI. This is how the dashboard will look like as soon as you enter the Canva dashboard. And here we have something called a Canva AI. Click on that. Okay. And now here, for example, I want to create, let's say, a document. Okay, so I click on this doc here, and now type. I can choose a lot of different types. Okay, blog post, strategy, article, social post, outline. So let's say I choose a blog post, okay? And let's say I give an idea. Um, how will the job of climate scientist be in 2030? Okay, so let's say I'm just giving this title. Okay, and now what I'll do is I'll just click on this submit. See the beauty of AI. Okay, how it will work. So see, now I have the full blog article ready on it. Isn't it beautiful? Hello, all of you. Now
Yes.
you can actually work on it further to edit it also. What you can do is you click on this use Canva editor. See, easily you can edit now the text. Because okay, AI created it. You want to add something or delete something, you can easily do that. Okay, and very user friendly UI. You can easily see delete, editing. So if I want to change the text, I can do that. Okay, now let's say I can give some prompt and change the look also. So change the overall color using blue shades. And the main beauty behind it is if you don't utilize these things now, when it is free, down the line, maybe it might get paid also. Okay, so that time you will lose on that uh, uh, real option of using these things, right? Now, let's say restrict the words to, let's say, if I just say maybe 100 words. So similarly, so by just giving such text inputs to it, you can keep refining the document, changing the color, look, background images, anything you can change. Okay. So that's the beauty of using the Canva AI, using which you can easily create. This is one thing I showed, which is document. You can create a lot of other things also. For example, let's say I want to create an image. I can do that. Now, if I want to create something like, let's say, a design and let's say social media, and format is, let's say, an Instagram post, green AI job in 2030. Okay. So skills to develop to be ready for green AI job in 2030 in maximum 5 points and let's say 50 words. Okay. So how will you give the prompt to it? That much your quality of output will be. Okay. So now what I did is I'm creating an Instagram post. Okay. Before we saw blog post, now we are doing an Instagram post. So Nyaneshwar, is it useful to you? What do you think? Or you feel, oh, I will create manually? That's better.
No, sir, it's great actually.
Yeah,
I
right. So
missed this.
exactly, right. So we have to adapt, right? There's no way because if we still stick to our, I mean, like, no, I will only then will be very difficult, right? So, for example, it gave you a lot of different ideas, right? And now you can use this for update it further, and you can give more content to it. It will create and give you. So yeah. So this way you can do a lot of things. Okay. Now these are just few examples I said, and there is something called. Let me show you that also. See, it's called Magic Write Climate Scientist Job Demand in 2030. Okay. So anyone here used this before? I hope no, right? Like this might be an maybe an eye opener for many of you. That yeah, this can actually save a lot of time for me. So now let's say this is the design I need. Click on use Canva editor again. So there is something called a magic write also. So it is simply like saying like normally you would think, "Arey yaar, I need a designer," right? and but AI says, "No, ma'am, I got you." Right. So this is the movement of that. Right. Now, for example, this is let's say a sentence here. Now, if you see here, there is something called this magic write, this pencil. Okay, click on that, and I can just rewrite or fix spelling or whatever I want. I can change the voice. For example, if I want to change the voice, I can choose that. If I want to rewrite, I can choose that. Okay, explore the increasing need for more like this. AI can make mistakes. So okay, so what I'll do is it corrected the grammar again. Okay, for us. So similarly, even if I want to change the content, I can do that using Magic Write. Okay, or continue writing. See, it will generate for you more details on it, right? And if you click on insert, it will insert it. Then you just need to do little bit of work on just drag and drop and all easily. You can change the image here. Just right click and you can change the background, delete background, right? Many things you can do. So that easy things are now, right? You can do many things, and the best important part of this is free now, right? For especially educators. So utilize that, okay, and grow your network, grow your the way you provide guidance or teaching. Utilize these tools. You make your overall task or work more productive, more interesting using these things, and especially when you are working with students, such colorful things will actually help them a lot, right? Like to understand things more better. So yes, now tell me honestly, uh, how many of you have ever said that I have ideas but I don't know how to design them? How many of you? Just raise your hand. So I have an idea but I don't know how to design them. Most of you, right? Most of you would have thought about it because we are not imaginative arts experts, right? We have our own expertise and all, but this is where AI will help us, right? Tools like Canva, ChatGPT, even QReport, there is one tool, right? It can take now your idea and make it visible, right, in front of you. It will create an image and all. You just need to ask, right? So this is where AI will make your life more better, easy. And this was a small, like application which I wanted to show. I thought, okay, this will actually help you all to make your work more interesting, more creative. Even you can create a poster teaching curiosity to eighth graders. Okay, for example, let's say we just copy it. I go back. Just example. Okay, I'm showing. Okay, let's see what it gives. See how beautifully it created the poster for you in even a matter of second, right? Like it's ready for you. So that's the beauty of AI, right? Utilize it, and this as per the design is concerned. Now this question might come into your mind: how ChatGPT and this is different. Obviously, when you create through ChatGPT and all, there are limitations. You have to copy, paste, design. Here, everything is coming in front of you in that ready-made design format, right? And easily you are able to edit it here itself, which you are not able to do in ChatGPT, right? When you generate an image and all. So that's the beauty of Canva, right? And obviously, as I said before, I'm not a promoter of Canva or something because next time you'll see some next tool, right? Like some other tool. But whichever feels good, whichever I feel is, as I said, it's a free tool, useful for you. Just I'm showing that, right? And I felt really it's good, useful to save a lot of time and all. And even you can also try it out. And so this is where we come to our last section, right? Uh, before I close. So it was I hope so. These are some results, okay, which through that prompt, okay, you get, right. So this is a result that you get, and try to utilize this, make it more interesting for students when you give anything, right, like any content or any document or anything. Make it more colorful. Students will love it. The more better or more lovable you make your content for them, they will grasp it more better, right? And more they grasp, you are creating a higher impact for them, and that satisfaction will push you also higher, okay, that confidence. So utilize these tools, okay, I will say. So now let me put one question in front of you all. I know there are a lot of golden things in the past stuff, right, like what we inherited from our system built from centuries. There are a lot of gold, obviously, I don't deny that, but there are some parts which I will say it's time to let go, right? It is time to let go. So here is my bridge question to all of you. So, what will you keep from our old system, and what must you unlearn? So, take a few seconds, think about it, okay? And if you feel like sharing, just type one something in the chat, okay? It will be really good for me to read. So, what is that something which you want to change in the old system? Okay, something which you want to unlearn. Anyone, anything? Put it in the chat. You can come into. So if you ask me, I will say keep the discipline, which is really good, right? Yeah, and learn one shirt fits for all. Siddharth is saying, okay, that's very true. So discipline is what I will keep, and can I say that unlearn comparison, because that's really powerful. When we compare things, we are spoiling overall the growth of that child, student. So discipline, but is really good, right? So this way. Now, similarly, you can keep compassion, right? And that obsession with marks, you can just unlearn, right? So that way we can just plan, right? I'm just thinking, wow, this could be a full TED talk, right? Like which we have now here. It's really like when I created this session, I was not knowing that this much we will be able to uncover in this. Okay, and really through speaking itself, I could come up with a lot of different, what I can say, angles of various things which I'm just thinking. Um, that's really, I mean, like commendable. So yeah. So what are the answers? I can see unlearning the thought process of anything the AI produces is mechanical. Yeah. So see, now as we are entering the last phase of our session, sorry to take uh, a little extra time today because actually the topic which we are speaking here is a very impactful one, and I loved speaking on it. Some places I went little overboard, but sorry for that. During a Diwali night, I'm spending extra time. So So the big shift which we need to remember is, see, the future is already here, right? So it's not like it's coming. It's already here, AI and all those stuff. And the second thing is success is skill multiplied by meaning multiplied by adaptability. So all these three things we need. Not only skills, not only the meaning of it, or not only the adaptability behavior of it. If you want to be successful in life, you have to be adaptable. You have to find the meaning in what you're doing, the purpose, and the real skills you need to develop, right? And the most important thing, school should not create test takers or who are taking exams, right? They have to prepare thinkers. So if you're still teaching them what you learned in the college, so you are pushing them into a world or teaching them something which will no longer exist, right? So this thing we need to understand, and what I will say is, uh, for what's coming on, let's say the Monday morning, try one AI tool or some tiny experiment with your work or with your class. Maybe you ask the students to design a new uh, job for 2030, right? So something you do, and right. So the important thing is, because the real challenge doesn't start with a policy or an app, right? It starts with one teacher who decides to change the lives of the children and starts exploring whatever is there at his disposal to improve the lives of children. And now, before we wrap up, these shifts which I am speaking here, we need to bring it in our lives and make it a habit of. I mean, like it should be an eye opener for all of us that we need to be ready for the future that's coming. And I will share a few things as we already saw Canva Magic, right? Then there is one more called QReport called AI Lesson Creator. It can create lessons and all. Similarly, ChatGPT, there are some prompt libraries for educators that I will share once our recording is uploaded to YouTube. I will share internally, not to everyone, but whoever is interested, I will share it to them, and which will be very useful for you because prompt engineering is also something which will improve your results that AI will give, right? So we'll work on that and we'll share that. And obviously, yeah. And thank you all for joining. Really enjoyed the session myself because I got the chance to just speak out, right? Like whatever my learnings are till now, and for what the the world we are stepping into, how to prepare our next generation for that. And this part one series of our long four series, I will say, is on this Future Proof 2030 series, right? Um, and next week we will see the, I will not say next week, but in our next jam session, we will see the skills that matter, right? Like what every student must learn before 2030. So this will be the topic we will see in the next of this series. So that will be also really interesting to see it more focusing on skills, what they need to develop, how they will need to learn, and what are the various techniques, right? Which we innovative techniques which we can use to make them learn, understand the skills, what they need to develop, um, and all those. It will be interesting. So yeah. So and thank you all for joining the session. And uh, yeah, now I hand over the mic to audience. So how did you feel the session? Looks like all have opted for chat now. No one wants to unmute the mic. Maybe cracker sounds are too much.
Yeah, yes, that is also there. But it was a very
Yeah,
informative section. Thank you. Yeah.
right. Okay. Yaneshri, so how did you feel? I hope there was no much biology like last time. Your sessions are really very scientific. Mine will be
No,
more philosophical.
it was amazing to the point. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
Okay. Yeah. So I hope I didn't bore most of you. Okay. I mean, like, and try to make your Diwali day not very sleepy. Okay. So, right. So the future is coming, and you are the only hope for the children. So guide them very well and use whatever AI tools are at your disposal. Especially look for free tools, right? Like because those are the tools which even your students can use since it's free. And many tools are there nowadays online which are free and can be explored, which can improve the productivity of children. You even the learning style can be improved. So try to explore that. And I will say this is where the new front of exploration should begin among the educators, especially related to AI. And sorry for that, some system issue. It got crashed. So yeah, so thank you all for joining and wishing you a very happy Diwali. And be healthy. Wishing you a healthy, prosperous, happy Diwali ahead. And may the lights of Diwali also light your life with a lot of colors, right? And even that same light, let you pass on to the children which you guide, and let all of us take that as our purpose of life, right? Like improving their life, moving them away from the darkness, the the important role which God has given us, right? Like that responsibility God has lovingly given us to guide them, right? To bring that impact in our nation, to our country, or even those whoever comes to you, right, for guidance.
Let us all be that guiding light, right? And yeah, so happy Diwali to you all, and have a good night. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.